Organized Sound Podcast. Welcome back. I'm your host, Hib Balde. I'm here with a very special guest, Austin Fair.
What up?
What up, Austin Fair? How you feeling?
Feeling real good, you know.
Yo.
Turn on your, turn on, ay, 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 turn on your, turn on your.
You got a good night's sleep, I guess, because you came. I hit you up. I'm like, where are you at? You're like, overslept.
Yeah, it was a real good night. You know, I got my hours in. So,
Word.
Yeah.
All right. So,
refreshed.
You're out of Chicopee, Massachusetts.
For sure.
Repping the 413 heavy.
Super hard. Yeah.
Talk to me about starting in rap music.
I mean, I was like a sports kid like anybody else pretty much. And then basically what happened was like, Hum Beats, who's my cousin. He lives in the Boston area.
Okay.
Super big producer out there, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the best in Mass, for sure. He like got into producing like and started he got like a video game and then just started making beats on it, and I just started rapping on the beats. And then we just took it every single day since then. And I went back to school, started passing out CDs and stuff. So my whole like 4 years of high school back then, like I was going crazy with the raps and stuff like that, and then I just took it serious. You know what I mean?
Nice. I think that's super important, that grind that exists where you're coming as, so you know, you're doing the hand to hand, getting out there, showing people your faces, and showing yourself in person.
Yeah.
I think that's something a lot of these new artists are missing, actually. So let's talk about where things go from there, because then you said you go out to college, and obviously you record more connections. Keep going with the timeline.
Yeah. In college, like I was actually kind of, I was more timid about showing people the music. Just like, it was just different. Like going from Chicopee High to AIC, which is in Springfield, American International, for anybody that doesn't know. But like culture shock, like completely different type of school, completely different type of thing, and
it's weird because they're not that far apart,
right?
But it's just a totally different environment, the college environment.
I got kind of antisocial, and just like when it came to the music, I became more internet based. And I think that's what kind of contributed to me getting so much traction in Boston. Because I would just link with my cousin way more often, and that's when I would take like more serious steps with it. So like more shows and more real opportunities would come over there, and then I would be able to bring that energy back home, you know.
Got you.
Yeah.
So talk about like your musical inspirations and who you started listening to that inspired you to do it.
It's funny because I always say like I was just another kid like at first, so any inspiration came from like listening to Lil Bow Wow or like you know what I mean, like
I did not but it wasn't like gripping to you. It was just like what was around.
Yeah, like I wasn't even really listening to hip hop like that at first. I was listening to more like R&B music. I would listen to Usher and like stuff like that a lot before I got into like rap. So like I would listen to Bow Wow and like Soulja Boy and like stuff like that, like any other kid. But then when I actually like found a love for it, and that's pretty much when I started rapping like at the same time, because I wanted to find more challenging music. I started getting into like Jay-Z and Lil Wayne and stuff like that, and that's when I like really enjoyed it, because it was just, I was just so impressed with how like Jay-Z would put words together. So I started kind of trying to rap like him, and I liked the rawness of Lil Wayne's music at the same time, because he would have serious songs, but then he would have like the just fun turn up records and stuff like that too. And that's kind of like how my music is. Like I can make pretty much any type of song, whether it's serious or.
That's what I noticed yesterday. I was really vibing to your like more R&B stuff.
Yeah.
So I like first started listening to you with like just like the harder trap, like patterns and that type of sound. But then when it cooled out and got a little more spacey, I was like, this works too. Like you have that range. And I think your voice is a big part of that. Was there any kind of evolution in how you come on the mic?
I think like I mean I was like always kind of singing a little bit, but I just found more comfort in it, and it's just like I find that a lot of artists kind of in this, especially in this era, like they get comfortable just making that same like turn up record over and over again, but then you can only listen to that song like so many times throughout the day.
Exactly, because at that point you're listening to essentially the same song.
Exactly, and I'm not hype all day. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? Right. So I need those songs sometimes where I'm just chilling at the house and I wake up and that's the song I play. Or if I'm just cruising, if I need to take an hour drive, I'm driving to Boston all the time, so that's an hour and a half. You know what I mean? So I always like to have projects where you could just play it and let it rock for a while. You know what I'm saying? So I don't just make the turn up records. There's a lot of like real intricate music coming up like later on. You know what I mean?
Got you. Who's an artist that you listen to that you think would surprise people?
Surprise people. I don't know. I think just the singers I'll like pop on the playlist here and there. Like I listen to John Legend.
Right. Oh, he's incredible.
It's funny. I was like, I don't know, for some reason I put on like Adele's project the other day.
25 or 21?
It might have been 21. I think it was 21.
Yeah.
And I was just like, because I remember when I first heard that in high school, I was like, yo, like she could just sing. Like it didn't even matter what she looked like. It didn't matter like nothing. It didn't matter. Right. Nothing else mattered.
Like the most minimal instrumentation.
Yeah, it was just
she's just
beautiful voice, and she just
write that song,
got to it,
and sing it.
I like just music that's impressive. You know what I mean? A lot of just things that make me actually feel like they have like real musical talent. Because I feel like I'm one of those people. So if I listen to things that just are unimpressive all the time, it's uninspiring. You know?
Okay. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. You need there's that feeling right now of you need to be a creator and an inventor, and so much is being mimicked and copied to reproduce a sound that when you find these people that are doing their own thing, it's just really refreshing.
Yeah, for sure.
I want you to talk about this big interview that you had that definitely got on my radar when you were out at Museum TV. How did you make that connection?
It's crazy because, you know, and a lot of people like ask me about like stuff like that too, and I was hitting up these people for years, you know what I mean, before, and they knew who I was because of Hum Beats, you know what I mean, and like that connection, but they didn't want to like listen to me or like get things going like that on that serious tip until like the music got really good, you know what I mean, and I had to earn like all that stuff, you know what I mean? Just for anybody that's listening that thinks like you could just DM these people, like you gotta earn it. It's all earned. Even if I had the connection, it didn't matter. But basically, like what I was gonna do was this Boombox Basement series that they were doing, and it was kind of like a subsection of the museum, and we went and we did this like live show. We did like an interview on the spot, and it was really cool. And that's how I met Noble, who's in charge of the museum, in person for the first time. And we just like, it was real cool. And you know, things didn't work out, so the Boombox thing never aired. But we ended up being real cool, and he invited me to do an interview instead. And that was like super important to me because like I always thought like that was like a big moment in Boston, like if you get one of those. So
absolutely. No,
and being the kid from Chicopee, being the kid from Chicopee, I was like, wow.
The geography is super important. You got to understand, like Boston is out near the water, and it's very, even though it's eastern Massachusetts, it's also very eastern in terms of just being so close to the water, so close to the Cape. When you think of a place like Springfield, Chicopee, Holyoke, we're a lot closer to Connecticut. We're very northern. So a lot of times the music doesn't travel up, and I don't know. I'm curious to know how you feel about the music traveling down. Do you think artists in this area have an easy time connecting with like the Connecticut, Hartford rap scene?
No,
And
not at all.
why is that? Why is that?
They don't know who we are. Like I'm lucky enough to be one of the few that has been able to like kind of break a different barrier, whether it be going to Boston and building a reputation out there, which I'm forever grateful for, and I don't take for granted at any point. You know what I mean? Because you could lose it, you could say the wrong thing, and it could be gone. Because these are like, the thing is like, if you go to Hartford, right? If you go to Connecticut, they have their artists, and they've been trying to get on for just as long. They have Hot 93.7. You know what I mean?
The
like
resource.
they feel like they're riding for theirs until they get their guy. You know what I mean? Boston, they just got their guy, Cousin Stiz. You know what I mean? So he's out of here, and that's who they're gonna push. And they have 1,000,001 artists that are ready to come next.
Ready to come right through the door.
So, like,
shout out Token,
yeah,
shout
like,
out Millies.
Yeah, at the same time, it's like a lot of the guys in 413, we feel like as if we like deserve.
Lost in the middle?
We feel like we deserve something that maybe not. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason why someone from Boston has to support you. You gotta earn that. It's all earned. For people from Connecticut, that's a whole different breed. When I was in college, I was rooming with these people. I was meeting these Connecticut artists. Like, I know these guys. They don't know anybody out here. You know what I mean? It's just a whole different wave. They're on a whole different type of time. The music is different. They make a whole different type of sound. It's more fast-paced, upbeat, party-centric stuff. You know what I mean? Boston is more slow tempo. You know what I mean? More bouncy,
right,
fun.
and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Massachusetts as a community is a little more woodland. It's a little more secluded, and I think that really reflects in the music.
Yeah, Western Mass. We haven't really built a image or a sound, per se. We all kind of do different things. But hey, I mean, it could all change. You never know.
Yeah, I would be interested to see, because I hear a lot of interesting things that are different out of here. Yeah. But then I'm like, I don't think anyone's gonna try and copy that. It's just so its own wave. Like,
yeah, I don't think enough artists
developing a sound is
like
hard.
it might sound like messed up, but like it's really just like honesty. Like, I don't think enough guys in Western Mass make like really good music. So like if we focused more on just the foundation, like the fundamentals, like of just making good quality songs and projects, people are gonna connect to it. Like, people see past all the gimmicks, the
right.
The side
That's so
things.
rampant
like,
now that
we already have all that.
The meter, everybody's meter for BS is like acute at this point.
Exactly. Make some good music. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Mm.
So you did just talk about kind of singles versus a full project. Do you feel that one or the other is more important or has lost ground in the last few years with the rise of streaming?
I think that nobody knows anything.
You think there are no rules?
I think the rules have gone out the window.
And now there's yet to be a new established standard.
Yeah, everybody thinks that their way is correct, but I don't know if anyone is correct. Like, I think it's all based on what your fan base is. So like, if you are someone that's been out here known for dropping that project that people resonate with all the time, that you could come back on your yearly routine and drop your project, and then you're good. Some artists are more single based, but I feel like the guys that are more single based don't really have the content to make a project usually. Mm-hmm. I'm someone that, like, as young as I am, I'm 23 years old right now.
Yep.
But I started rapping like 8 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's not easy. And it goes back to the resource thing. Like, you might have bars and all this, some concepts. You wrote the songs in the notebook. To take it from that to a product, an MP3, like with a good recording and a good mixing and a good mastering, is like a huge step versus if you're living in a city where the music is already big, there's studios at every corner, like it becomes a little easier.
I literally think that you could do whatever your fans want you to do. Like, they're gonna tell you, like, you know what I mean? You gotta just pay attention. You gotta be really interactive with your fan base.
It's such a direct to consumer process now.
Yeah, exactly.
That, yeah, like you said, there are no rules. Give the people what they want. Supply, demand. And
this is for anybody. Like, never think you're above anything, because we're always on the clock. Like, any artist, you're always on the clock, because you, like, there's always somebody else that people could listen to. We have no shortage of music at all anymore. I can go listen to 8 projects and pick one song from each of them, and then that's my playlist, and then that's it. So you got to always be consistent.
Yeah, consistency. And the thing that I think really differentiates you is work ethic. Yeah. So you dropped 3 projects this year.
Yeah.
And I think this is a year where your sound really evolved and got dialed in. And even your image too, the WMC, Western Mass Connection, that artwork of just like the shade and the lighting, like that really is the mood. And I really connected with the way you brought that whole project together. The early songs on there too. What are the first 2 on there? I really like the first 2 on there.
The intro track is called Ready, and then the second song is called Woke.
Woke. Both of those are just, they slap, man. Like, that's a song I can't really sit down to. Both of those.
Yeah, I had to come out hard with it.
Was Woke kind of tongue in cheek, because it kind of, you know, when people think woke, like, they're thinking, okay, he's about to make this like conscious rap song.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about that. So did you do that on purpose?
I got so much stuff, can't open up my eyes. What you say? Yeah, I smell like weed, why you surprised? Hey, bitch, you been a fake, bitch, see through your disguise. I got model bitches all in my DM and telling lies. I'm with Frosty and he tatted on his neck like little skies. I put this up in my joint and I let smoke out in the sky. Niggas talk about that money, but that shit be major size. I'ma go and kill the game and get that shit decriminalized. Hey, bitch, I'm way too woke. You can't leech hope. I smoke big dope. Bitch, I'm clean soap. Got this foreign jugs of water. I might deep stroke. For that 9 to 5, I'm working, bitch. I'm still woke.
Yeah, I mean, it was like sometimes I like to get arrogant just because, like, I mean, it's like,
why not?
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
it's a big part of the sport of rap.
Yeah, I give all emotions when you get through a whole project of mine. Like, you're gonna hear all different types of stuff. So, like, I started out with just like, I'm way too woke, and then like I was talking about like working a 9 to 5, like different things.
That theme comes up a lot. Where do you stand on that?
I live in it. You know what I mean? I live in that, and it's like, I like to say that there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just something I don't want to get trapped in forever. But I like to show the reality of things at the same time.
And I think a big reality that a lot of people don't realize is you can do both.
Yeah,
you can be an artist and have a job.
Exactly, and a lot of guys do, even though they act like they don't.
The majority.
I don't hide it. I went to college. I'm looking for career jobs and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's only to fund the dream at the same time, and I'm gonna build both things at the same time.
And it's important to invest in yourself, and that's the best way to invest in yourself, is to have a job.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For
sure. Let's talk about some of the other projects. So you have the 413.
Yeah.
Is every beat on there a Hetrix beat?
Yeah, I did that specifically with Hetrix.
Okay.
Hey, I do push-ups, ain't no steams. Hey, yo, bitch looking at my gram. Hey, I told her she gotta move, she don't understand. Hey, I like them with attitude, you heard what I'm saying. Hey, facing my Patagon, yeah, I'm out in California. A4 how I pulled up, nigga, I ain't tryna force it. I smoke raws, not no blunts. Roll up the weed and I torch it. Look at my baby, she gorgeous. We hit your bitch, had an orgy. Masspike, catch me on the road with my friends. She a bad dime, that's my favorite hoe. She go ham, I was baptized. Ever since that water hit my skin, I'm on that cash grind. Bad bitch looking me up with no hands.
So talk about linking with him and how you guys got your chemistry together.
It just like we built that from just like always linking just randomly throughout the week, and I had this song called LeBron that just went crazy in Massachusetts. You know what I mean? Ever since the first time I performed it at Fat Cats, in Springfield, I like went crazy, jumped on top of a speaker, like took my shirt off, just got crazy with it, and just I felt the energy from it. So I dropped that song like 2 days after I made it. We made that at like SK Studio or something like that. And
shout out SK. If you haven't seen the SK interview, go check it out in the channel. And
I took it to Boston, did mad shows. I performed that song like a million times, and then I was just like, yo, you know, like we might as well just like make a little project. You know what I mean? Give people that sound that they liked, just in one strike. You know what I mean? One good run, and that's how 413 happened. And then just people like love that music. You know what I mean? We might do another one. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying you and Hetrix might come with another tape jointly?
Yeah, it might be his project. It might be mine. Who knows?
Who knows? Okay, look out for that. Definitely. And shout out Hetrix, because I got a little interview coming with him as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about kind of like the brand more, the brand of Austin Fair.
Yeah.
How do you build that? I don't know if persona is the word, but how do you like to portray yourself aesthetically?
Just cool, man. Let us be chilling. Like I don't like to act like I'm like better than people. Like a lot of guys, a lot of rappers like to do that. Like, I'm someone that you could just have a conversation with. I'm a real conversationist. Like I like to just pick people's brains. You know what I mean? So a lot of my music, besides the turn up and ratchet stuff, which I do enjoy as well.
There's a balance.
I like to like provoke thought. So like you might hear something the first time and might not catch what I was actually saying. You might hear it the third time, might not catch it, but then when you're just chilling in your car and you're on the road and you're like, dang, like he was talking about some like real stuff on this song. Like the Dead Roses project. It was just all deep.
And I feel like that really had this kind of like Kanye 808 and Heartbreaks kind of switch up on there.
Yeah. It was real deep, and it was like a real like expression. Like I was just getting all that emotion out.
Right.
Yeah.
And a song that really resonated with me, I think it's called Loose Ends.
Yeah.
Is kind of about cutting people out of your life.
Yeah.
And how it can be hard but necessary. Do you have a particular story that song's built around?
I like my senior year at college was like really bad. It was like my fourth year. I had to end up taking another year, so it took me 5 years to graduate.
Right.
So my fourth year, I made my plate way too full, and a lot of people can relate to this. So it's just like I took like way more credits than I needed to just to squeeze it in and graduate. And like I had a relationship, like I had just too many friends at the time, and there is such a thing as too many friends.
There is.
Like
when there's a lot on your plate, you need to. It's hard for people to evaluate like what are the priorities, how do I get to them, because it becomes like everyone's just asking to hang out or do something, and you gotta say, well, like what how does that benefit me? How does that progress me? How does that make me better?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a hard question.
I literally just like I know like depression has become like a pretty like pop culture topic lately.
Yeah.
But like I was just like in a really dark space, and I just like when I go like everyone's situation is different when they go through that. So with me particularly, I became like really self-destructive. So even though I had everything going perfect, Like, I just started seeing fault in things that didn't need to be faulted. Like, so I cut off this person, cut off that person, started doing bad in my grades. Like, my grades started falling. Everything just like made no sense at once. And then I made Dead Roses at that same time. So the sessions were crazy. Like, there's a song called 21 Plus on Dead Roses.
Yep.
I was like crying on that song in the second verse.
Is that about a girl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But like every part of that whole project, I'm talking about some real shit. And then I got out of that place. Like, I got out of it.
So I think we need to really delve into how did it work for you to get out of it? What was the build?
Definitely
Building
the release of like just getting out those emotions. Like, I actually do, I do use music.
Energy.
Like, it really does help me, like, specifically get out all that stress. Like, there's no happier place for me than in a studio, like making a song. The high I get from like finishing a song and then listening to it is like unreal for me. Other than that, like, just I kind of like had to like look at myself and just like take everything, like I'll take the blame, because
instead of blaming other people.
Yeah, because
and putting it on, you have to understand what you can and can't control.
Mm-hmm. I was just like, you know what? No one else is gonna like take me out of this. You know what I mean? So I literally just started with square one. Everything sucked to get back into shape. Like, it sucked trying to like talk to a young woman about like my situation versus her situation and getting those things right back together. You know what I'm saying? It sucked trying to talk to professors who had already given up on me and being like, you know what? I could probably still get a D. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
let me
try.
Let me do this paper. Let me like finesse it a little bit. And I ended up like succeeding in the end. But
so it sounds like facing the problem head on, having the hard conversations was what really did it for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
And that's essentially the scariest thing.
Yeah, it took like
just
months. It took like months, almost a year out of my life of just like mending things. You know what I mean?
But it's important, right? And that makes you stronger on the other end.
Yeah, for sure.
If it were to happen again, and just knowing how to navigate it. And then I wanted you to talk about, you mentioned this right before the interview started, your participation in radio at AIC and kind of bringing back a tradition. What was that about?
I had a friend named Salvador Harold who he was just in the computer lab one day and like writing this these notes on the computer, and I was just eavesdropping because I'm nosy. And he was starting the radio station back on AIC campus, and I was just like, wow. And I didn't even know what was going on. I was like, yeah, I'm a part of that. Like, joined it. Became vice president at first, and we just refounded it. My friend and my roommate at the time, Malik, we all got together and just built this organization from the ground up. It was like 10 years of like nothing was on campus. Like, there was nothing going on. We brought it back full force, like got thousands of dollars of equipment, speakers. We all learned how to DJ. Like, we did different shows with interviews on campus, like stars from sports and stuff like that. It was just so, like, we finally brought the culture of AIC back together.
Nice.
And having different clubs like the dance team involved in our events and all. Just different things that they didn't have for years. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that it took me like till junior year to kind of like get things going with that, like how it should have been. But like, just knowing that we brought like people to the fun again was really important. And because AIC had a reputation of like people leaving to go to other colleges to party and to do different things, to have fun. Right. I'm like, why can't we just like be here sometimes? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Build the community.
Yeah, it was really important to do that and just like start one of the most important campuses important organizations on the campus now. So it's really cool, and shout out to them. And
nice. Shout out to you earning your stripes, man. That's
Yeah.
something I have a lot of friends that did UMass radio at one point, and I'm like, dang, that's a missed opportunity for me. I feel like that would have been a good way for me to kind of a better inception and a quicker start to a podcast like this. So I kind of always regret not doing something more in that vein.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the single Walk. Also, that's off 413, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Talk about shooting that video.
Oh yeah, it was just fun. Like any other day, like my boy Jay Frost, shout out Jay Frost. He's a tattoo artist. Went to his house. You know what I mean? And it was just like any other day in my life. You know,
And he's the one who recorded it. He's the one who shot that.
My boy actually, like I have my own equipment, so like
okay.
any one of my homies could pick up the camera
And
any day,
catch it.
and just capture shit.
Got you.
Like I have this brand called Troop Entertainment that will become like a much bigger thing as I go, because like I said, there's rap me and then there's like business me.
Yeah.
And then those things climb up together. So like as I become more important to just the community, the Troop thing will come to fruition. But like anything that I do with media, if I do like some graphic design work, if I do photography, video, things like that, that's all under Troop, and then my boys are all part of that. So it's all fun. Like it's all fun to involve my friends that may not have anything to do with the music, to let them have a part of it too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I wanted, when you hit me up originally for this interview, you kind of talked to me about having some guidance for the younger artists in this area.
Yeah.
And so is there anything you wanted to touch on in particular?
Particularly Western Mass for sure.
Okay.
Just like especially over the past like few weeks, and even months, like there's been like a new resurgence. When I came up like in this area specifically, because I feel like I'm in a different place right now, just because of how the Boston thing happened. But right now, like I came up with like guys like SK and T Swan. I know I'm name dropping. I don't like name dropping and shit, but like who cares?
Shout out T Swan.
T-Swan.
I don't care. I like name dropping.
Like I was opening up a lot of these guys' shows, like
yeah.
Matt Maritia, Chris Lombardi,
and
even Dylan.
I think it's important to shout these people out,
Yeah.
because they laid a lot of this groundwork for whatever happens.
And like just the camaraderie has to be there. You know what I mean? At the same time, like a lot of people like to give SK problems because he necessarily doesn't like help everybody. But then it's
and
like,
what's the expectation, right?
Yeah, like
just because you're the biggest artist in a scene, are you then supposed to, you can't put everyone on your back.
Exactly.
I guess is what I'm saying.
When things go wrong for him,
what does he owe anybody?
Yeah, when things go wrong for him, I've seen so many people quick to just like bash him, hate on him behind closed doors. People love to talk to me about how they hate on somebody and they act like I'm gonna join the convo. But like
you're
I don't.
Not. You're gonna chill on
that's
that.
That's not me.
That's
I don't
not
care.
Your style, clearly.
I'm not for that at all. I've always been someone that shows love, shows up to a show. You know what I mean? Might open it, might close it. You know what I'm saying? But like the thing is, nowadays there's like this new resurgence of like just the younger guys that are starting to gain some traction in the area, and they're just there's so much clouded judgment and things that are going on, and there's like mini beef and things, and it's like, bro, like,
and social media is not helping.
Yeah, it's not helping at all.
These artists have access to each other, and,
yeah,
and the ability to kind of do this shade talking in a more public way.
Yeah, and I just know for a fact, and this goes to my connection with Boston too. When I go do shows over there, everybody's in the room, like everybody is there supporting each other. There's guys that might not even be performing that night, but they're artists. But they came, they showed up, they're on stage with you, like showing you love. Like there's like I was doing this performance in Boston one time, and this rapper out there named Young Seuss, like he like just grabbed the mic, started hyping. He was like hype man for my set. Didn't even have to do that, but it was just lit. You know what I'm saying? It was dope, and I try to bring that culture back over here when I do shows. Like, I'll stand around, I'll be there, I'll be present, I'll be vocal. You know what I'm saying? I would like at Pasto's show the last show that we did. I hopped on the turntables
because I was just editing that video.
I hopped on the DJ like spot.
That's when I really started messing with you.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, yo. Because your set was very good.
I try. Thank you, and I just like it is the more love that we all show each other. It just is so much more natural, and it makes more sense than hating. Like it really does. And I know that it's hard right now for a lot of those guys. Like I know because there's already been things that have been said, and it's kind of hard to like go back on that. And I'm guilty of stuff like that too when I was coming up. So like I get it, but like long term, we're all still going up.
We're all in the same trajectory.
You have to just show love and just be natural and don't hate. If you got something bad to say, just ignore it. Don't even pay attention to it. Because none of, like, it's not like, and this is a part of the problem because our area is so small and there hasn't been a real big success story, is that we feel like if someone else makes it, then you lost.
Right.
We did not lose.
The case.
It's not like that. There's so much money in rap music right now.
That's my big lesson. I went to school for business at UMass. The big lesson is a high tide raises all boats. And that's exactly what you're saying.
Do you want to be the guy that like was hating on that guy the whole time and he wins? And then now he's like, now I'm going to really shit on you. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? It never helps you to hate. It never does. Never will. And that's what these guys gotta learn. It's a team effort.
Agreed. So, a question I ask almost everyone: what does the Western mass music scene need specifically? Besides
Austin Fair.
Yeah, like I guess more on like the resource side. What do all these artists need? What's missing? What's missing from the equation?
Leadership.
Okay.
And it's not shade. Like it's just like, when we do get these big moments or big opportunities, capitalizing on those things, having it be the right person, just. Someone who can guide and lead us to the right things and proper examples at the same time. Like we need multiple guys at once that make it out and do real legit things, like real things that people care about. You know what I mean? A lot of guys are falling into their routine. They're just dropping music. It's not mixed right. It's not like there's just things that make other areas not take us seriously. And we don't necessarily see it because a lot of guys don't get out of town. And that's fine. Like I understand it. It's hard. It's hard to like get out there and like jump into new things. But like I'm the same kid that was paying for those opening spots in the Middle East in Boston before I was able to throw shows myself. Like right. I was dropping that money too. Like I was doing that too. Like it's okay.
You pay your dues in this.
Yeah, once you build the traction, people are gonna take notice. Like they're gonna give you the respect that you're looking for. And then, like as far as Western Mass, like we just need to just be more legit, and then things will actually happen. It's not legit enough. It's not. And if I'm the one person that's gonna be honest about it, fine. I don't care.
I respect it. I'm glad. I think things are progressing, but like you said, yeah, there's no standard right now.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people who are just ready to drop a song in the next 30 seconds after it comes out, and that's not always the best move. So I definitely hear that and respect that you got to say that. The other question I ask, and it's a little more general of a question. we talked about streaming gaining prominence. And you kind of mentioned that there are no rules now. What's something for marketing that you've done yourself or seen work for other people that you think is something that would be valuable?
I think that, and this is something I plan on doing myself. I haven't done it yet, but in the coming months, like maybe even I might wait till 2019. But like me personally, I would record a lot of music. Like I record a lot of music. I could say right now, I don't even care. Like I have a rap project that's already done completely. That's just sitting there because I know I can't drop it yet. I have like 10 songs with head tricks that are just sitting there. Like it's just all the different things that are just sitting there. But musically, that's not where I'm lacking. Like it's not. I know that if it came down to just music, I would be already on. But it comes down to your brand and your image and just like if you could capture people's attention for a long enough time. I think the artist that captures people's attention for like a month straight, that's how you get on. And then you got to just capitalize on that. So like if I do a strong video, people have never seen me like that before type, you know what I mean, video. And then another one. And another one, and then put that on like a EP, and then after that, give them a project. That's probably what it would make the most sense. But like,
so a better build up and more kind of purpose.
Yeah, it has to be
these releases.
Has to be legit, like the whole way through. It has to capture people by surprise. People have to talk about it for more than a day, and that's hard in this generation.
Right, like, because like you said, there's no shortage.
And this is something I had to learn. Like when you just drop the song, when it's just a song and that's all you have is a song, we might peep it, or we'll peep it. But after a week, you're lost in the mix of everything else. And there's famous guys that people are listening to. So it's like you're just someone that's trying to get on.
That's the crazy thing about rap. There's no major and minor league.
Yeah.
It's
just
you
people's
gotta
time.
You gotta go stand out in the crowd.
Yeah, we're talking about people's time when they're on their phone scrolling, and making them stop their thumb on you and click your link. And why would I listen to you over this person? Because that's the time we're in. It's not tangible. It's not a CD anymore. We got to stop people from scrolling for a month. And then I think that's what get people going. And that's what I plan on doing 2019.
Nice. 2019. So, I mean, that was kind of one of my last questions is where's the music going? It sounds like you have a lot in the stash, and you're just going to wait till things are where they need to be in terms of, like you said, the brand, the business. So, is there anything else you wanted to talk about surrounding the 2019?
I'm working real closely with my video guy now, Colin Pagnoni. He's really good. He's really dope. We're just working on visuals, big visuals, like really cool stuff. And just building for this project that I know is gonna change like a lot of people's like lives. I'm capturing a message with this project that nobody really has spoke on yet, because I'm probably one of the only people that like has my situation in the rap game. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of guys, and I'll just say like, for example, like there's not a lot of guys that have graduated college in rap music.
Wow. Preach. I definitely feel that way, and I can think of like all of them in my head, and I don't think it would take 5 fingers. Like J. Cole, and then like 3 other people,
and they don't like it. Like it's never been like socially accepted in hip hop to like be academic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so,
no one's running with that. But Massachusetts is a very academic area.
Yeah.
Like you said, we've got AIC, we've got Western New England here, UMass has been mentioned, and then if you go to Eastern Mass, there's MIT, Harvard, like the real Ivy Leagues that stand out in the entire country.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a hub for that. And you're right. There was kind of that era when I was in high school where it was like, oh, there's like the Sammy Adams and stuff like that. These like preppy boy rappers. And that guy that capitalized on it really well was Asher Roth.
Yeah.
But like, there's no young black intelligent men that have kind of run with it. That's kind of reserved for like the elderly statesmen, the Jay-Z's, the Sean Combs. But yeah, no one's jacking the young entrepreneur swag.
It's gonna be real heavy music. It's not gonna be for everybody. I'll say that right now. It's not gonna be for everybody. It's gonna be for people with attention span. So that's it. Like it's I know it's not always inclusive, but it's my message. So that's how it works.
Dope.
Yeah.
Well, I will be listening to it. That is definitely my swag, the like Gary V, like corporate thug motivator swag. So I'm really glad you said that. Yeah, any last shout outs or anything like that?
Not really. Yeah, I'm just going.
Yeah.
I don't do no shout outs no more, man, because people don't be shouting me out. So chilling.
Okay. Yo.
Austin Fair. Shout out
really
Austin
funny.
Fair.
Shout out Austin Fair, guys. This is why people. You know what's funny is like this is why people think you're arrogant, but it's almost like a miscommunication. Like it's just too real for like what people are usually on.
Man, when I show a lot of love, and I do show a lot of love at the same time.
You've shouted out a lot of people today.
Exactly.
On the way to this.
Like, I don't often see it reciprocated all the time.
Right.
So, yeah.
So you're going to keep it till then.
Yeah.
Yo, this has been the Austin Fair Interview Organized Sound Podcast. I appreciate you coming through, man. I really do. And, yo, go listen to all his new projects. That's Western Mass Connection, 413, and Dead Roses, all on Spotify. You can find them on SoundCloud, YouTube. Are you on Apple Music?
Yeah, for sure.
Apple Music too. And we're signing out. Catch you in the next one.